Hello. Hello. Faye Bryant here with another daily devotion. Today we're going to look at Zechariah 14:9. Before I get started, though, allow me to introduce myself. I am Faye Bryant. I'm an author, coach, and speaker who helps people just like you escape the lies of the enemy, live into God's truth, and build a better life and legacy. If you would like more opportunities to understand what that means, just visit my website, faybryant.com, and you'll see what's available there for you, even a chance for a free talk with me to see what we might be able to come up with for you, tailor made for you. Okay, before we get started, too, if you're going to watch, I expect you to participate. I do. And if you don't, that's okay. It's okay. But I would love for you to just drop some comments. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know if you have questions or concerns about what I've said. Let's have a conversation. We may not do it like face to face, but we can talk one to another. And I would love that opportunity. Okay. If you would share it too, that'd be great. All right. Let's get to the word. Today we are looking at Zechariah 14:9, and that verse says, "And the Lord will be king over all the earth. On that day there will be one Lord, his name alone will be worshiped." Sounds like an awesome day, doesn't it? Before we get there, though, let's talk. When Zechariah wrote these words of prophecy, he lived in a world where people who had tasted of God's goodness were choosing to worship other gods, most especially self. We now live in a world where people who have tasted of God's goodness choose to worship other gods, most especially self. Time marches on. Humankind doesn't change. We all tend toward pleasing self or others. It's natural. God, however, is not natural. He is supernatural. He created the natural. He is above the natural. Even we who call ourselves Christians may have other gods in our lives. I mean, what I mean is, there may be something in our lives that supersedes God at times, maybe not constantly. Anything or anyone that we at any moment consider more important or more necessary than God, we've stepped into the adulterous realm of little g gods. It doesn't have to be a statue or a religion. We don't have to bow down to a carved idol. We can make a god of anything, even our family. Where is your mind most of the time? How do you approach problems or celebrations? Is God the first thing you think of in either situation, or is it something or someone else? Where do you spend your money? What will you go out of your way for? No, I do not mean you neglect your obligations. I mean you keep all things in the correct perspective. God first, meaning how you approach everything else comes after Him. That would lead you to take care of yourself, care for your family well, and serve others, all in the correct order, having only one as the ruler of your life. Today is a great day to examine your life. Every day is. Ask God to show you if there are other gods in your life, and if so, how to deal with them. When and if He shows you any, be obedient to agree with Him that you've let them come before Him and turn away from doing that, putting all things and all people into their rightful place and God in His. Let's do this to prepare for that day that Zechariah spoke of, to experience it in our part of the world right now. Coffee, Bible, journal. Wow, I don't know. Those words hit me long before I wrote them for you. But it's such a truth that we let other things come in, and we tend to relegate God to those God spaces in our lives, right? We like to put him over here in this space, and we'll take him back out when we need him. But that's not our God. God is over all, over everything, everything. And dare I say that when we try to put him in a little box or when we try to stick him over here in this corner to only come out when we need him, we have taken him off the throne of our lives and put ourselves on. That's not a comfortable thing to say because I've done that very thing and I'm learning to not do that. It's something we all have to learn. Our lives are busy. I get that. God gets that too. We just have to get to the place where we consider God above all, in all, as all. We have to recognize that we can have him permeating every bit of our busy lives without taking away from our lives. When we keep our heart and our minds focused on him, everything else goes through that as a filter. We know better how to respond in situations, any situation, good times and bad. When we allow him to be completely in charge of our lives, then we know how to better deal with whatever's going on. We know better how to accept or reject things that are going on. We know better how to love. We know better how to serve. Because I promise you, we may think that we are good gods. We are not. We are not. We are very selfish gods. Oh, yes, we are. And it's time that we take self off the throne and put Yahweh, God, back on where he belongs. Now, before I leave you, though, I want to look at that day that Zechariah was talking about. That day when the whole earth will recognize God alone. There won't be any of these little g gods anywhere. They won't be in anybody's consciousness. They won't be in anybody's talk. We will all, everybody, only recognize one. I don't know about you, but that's pretty amazing. Because right now you can walk into a room with 5 other people and you can end up with 6 different opinions about who God is and who you should be serving, even in a church. In that day, there will be complete unity and complete obedience to him. And what a joy that is going to be. We will be corrected. Our whole viewpoint and mindset will be corrected to be his, and so will everybody else's. We will be in complete concert with him. Wow. Many of us are feeling the disunity in the church today, not to mention in the world today. Divisiveness is running rampant. But in that day, the day of the Lord is what Zechariah was talking about. In that day yet to come, we will experience a peace that is beyond anything that we comprehend or get to experience now. We get moments of it when we remain content in him, but at that point, it will not only be within our hearts, it will be around us. How awesome is that? How amazing will that be? So my challenge today is to start focusing on him, putting him on the throne, having the right perspective, living with him as the one true and only God, and experience what that will be like right now. Sure, there'll be people around you who don't agree with what you're doing or what you're saying. They won't understand if you turn down an invitation to this or that at a time when you've got set aside for worshiping the Lord. That's okay. That's okay. Always, always put God first and let Him iron out all the other wrinkles. Yeah, it's not always easy, is it? Go with God. Always go with Him. The rest will work itself out. So, the next time you're faced with a challenge or a celebration, a good time or a bad, make sure that you have spent time with the Lord, loving Him, learning Him, experiencing Him, so that you will know how to respond in each of those situations. Experience the joy and the contentment and the peace that only He can give, and that the whole world will get to experience in as a unit in that day yet to come. Get it now while you can. Keep it until that day. Are you ready? You can do that. I believe in you. I believe in you. You are so awesome. Yes, you are. Don't argue with me. I believe in you. Much better than that, God Himself believes in you. He thinks you're pretty awesome too. So just let Him take over, right? God is for you, my friend. He is for you. And if God is for you, no one and nothing can ever be against you. Ever, ever. Trust in that. Walk in that. Live in that. Celebrate that. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, thank you for watching, for joining me to look at the scripture, to see how we can apply it to our everyday walking around right here, right now lives. And oh, if you're watching on YouTube, do me a favor, hit the button to subscribe to my channel. Be sure you hit the bell so you get notifications when these go live. And finally, go wherever God leads. Do whatever God says and be who God made you to be. Until next time, I'm Faye Bryant. Bye.